Hi, I'm Justin McCullough with Capital One Spark Business, and we're at Small Business Festival. And I've got Jay with me, and we're going to talk a little bit about his business. Jay, why don't you tell me a little bit about who you are and what you do?
My name is Jae Kim. I'm the founder and server at Cilantro Barbecue here in Austin, Texas. I started my business out of a food truck 7 years ago, and today we have 5 physical locations, fleet of food trucks, and a full catering service.
Great. So we're actually passionate about small business here at Spark Business.
Yeah.
And one of the things I picked up on earlier was your passion and a little bit about your values and your culture for your business. So
Absolutely.
I was wondering if we could maybe talk a little bit about sort of the values that are driving your organization today.
The core values are so important for us because as we grow in number of sizes from 2 staff to 10 to 50 to 200 staff, which we have today, the communication between myself and a staff who's washing dishes, we don't get to interact a lot. So we have to find common grounds that really kind of connects us together, and those are core values. One of them is trust and just treating others how you want to be treated. That's so important for us, and creating just 4 win situations. One's for customers. Customers always have to win, but also our people have to win. And the company has to win, and the community that which we're in all have to win. And when we have conflicts or when we have run into some challenges and problems, we always go back to core values and see how do we create a situation where everybody's winning. So those are what keeps us together as a company and really helps us to grow in the next 5 to 10 years.
That's excellent. So you've grown a lot in the last few years. So maybe if we could go back in time a little bit to when you first started, tell us a little bit about your journey, how you grew, and where values were, sort of all those milestones and the decisions you were making.
I started really with nothing. I took out my savings and maxed out my credit card. Just to survive for 6 months. So I would say the core values is like not giving up.
Perseverance.
And just being persistent and just like work and just survive. So my first 6 months was the toughest times that I've had, but it was the most valuable time also that I had. I was working 15, 18-hour days, and hard work and not giving up, being persistent was instilled in me and the staff. So then that story was told to the other staff members that kept joining us, and they thought that it was completely okay to sacrifice their time and hours to contribute to something that was bigger than they were. And I think that's why we were able to grow so fast in a short period of time.
Yep. And why don't you tell us a little bit about that growth, some of those milestones over what period of time?
It's just funny how it seems so long, but yet it's so short. There's so many instances and so many situations where I think that we could have run out of business because I've taken out multiple, I've taken out multiple times, maxing out my credit cards, and a credit card company would call me and say, "Hey, Jae, is everything okay? Like, we have insurances available for you," right? I mean, those are some situations that I've had. But what we did was really just being diligent in our finances and really think about our people first. I was the last person who was getting paid. I wanted to make sure that our staff was getting paid first, and they felt the comfort that they're able to feed their family. I have a staff named Julia who started with me from day one, single mom, 2 kids, 2 small kids, and I thought about them first before paying myself because I knew that if I took care of her, like she would take care of me. So those are some situations that we ran into in the beginning of the stages where it made us who we are today.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So how about telling us a little bit about maybe how you started to get to some level of scale with the fleet of trucks? And you're talking a lot about the journey from a financial point of view. So why don't you maybe talk to us a little bit about some of those bigger decisions with capital purchases and things like that?
Yeah, it was all in. There were a lot of, when I first started, there was no banks that wanted to loan out money, especially being in a restaurant business. It's just hard to find resources. I didn't want to go to my family members or friends, and that was the last thing I wanted to do. So I told myself, you know what, if I'm young, if I fail, I'll go back to my mom's house, and that was like the last option that I had. But I take a faith, and I just went all in multiple times, and I believed in what we're doing. I believed in the people, and the people believed in me. I think that's what was so important for me, is that there were multiple times that I wanted to give up, and I've even looked for an option to sell my company at a smaller scale. But people said, you know, that we have customers out there, they're raving about cilantro, and they love us. And, you know, I'm so blinded by that. I didn't see that was happening. But, you know, next thing you know, we have customers who just love us and embrace us. They want us to be in this community. And, you know, we're Korean BBQ-inspired fast casual. So not a lot of people are familiar with Korean barbecue and kimchi. That's why I've created the original kimchi fries out of desperation to hide the kimchi under the fries. They became nationally known today, but those are some of the moments that really people are able to connect with, those stories, that desperation stories, that we're here today and we're able to grow, keep on growing.
That is great. So as we close this out, I'm curious for all those that are really wanting to inspire the kind of growth you've had, and really to paint a compelling vision for their audience, and for their not only their customers but their employees. What would you recommend to those folks on vision casting and having them believe in you, like you've shared with us today?
I think one of the things that I share, you know, I have so many you know, things to learn still, but one of the things that they see in me is that me being persistent and not giving up. I've had multiple businesses before that failed, and every time I got out of those businesses, I said, you know, I could have, I should have, I would have done that if I still have that business. And with cilantro, I never did that, and I encourage my staff to do it and make mistakes. And, you know, don't tell yourself I could have, should have, would have. Actually do it. And see what the result's going to be like. So those values are instilled in our staff and myself, and they're able to see that. So any entrepreneurs out there that are aspiring to grow, I say be persistent and don't do things that you were going to say, you know, I could have, should have. Actually do them.
Sure.
And see what the result is.
So for those that are still watching, where can they find out more about cilantro and yourself?
Social media, that's the easiest. At cilantro on Instagram. You can go to cilantrobbq.com and check out our schedules, our locations, and be engaged with us on Twitter. We do a lot of fun stuff. So at Cilantro BBQ.
Great. Thank you, Jae. This is Justin McCullough, and I'm with Capital One Spark Business, and we're at the Small Business Festival. Thank you.
Thank you.